Who used to do that? It was one wrestler used to do that. I can't remember who that. Sabu.
Sabu.
Sabu. Rest in peace. Sabu on him. Sabu on him to start the show tonight. Welcome, people. This is Hot Take Wrestling. I am your boy, Old Man Logan. To the right of me is Westside KG. We're getting ready to get started. Uno momento in a second. We got King in the Black Robe, Ill Will, Usi FATU, Part 2, coming and joining us, Willie Uso, very, very shortly. But yeah, want to thank y'all for tuning in. So let me get the intros going first. I'm going to get my main man out of here. The guy that we started this thing for, you know what I'm saying, with his tactical stats and how he just dropped those factuals, and you know, you just don't have to, question him because you know what he's talking about. So y'all know what I'm talking about. Westside Kenny. Hold on, KG. Let me go ahead and hit you with your intro.
It's the ginger whiskey assassin, the other KG. Hashtag y'all gotta chill.
KG, talk to the people.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. All I have to say is thank you for joining us / that segment backstage with Nikki Bella. Was more cringe with them thanking her for being an inspiration. It was more cringe than this John Cena heel turn attempt.
Wow. Best backstage non-segment that's taken place this week to you so far. Well, this week or last week?
Yeah, the best or
yeah, or just
do I have a best? Do I have a best? I mean, that one threw me off so much, man. It's hard to be positive about. So I don't got the power of positivity right now. That it just really threw me off. But as far as I got one. He's all gas, no brains.
That part. And he just
we'll get into that later.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let me hit my intro. Y'all know who I am. You can't spell Tribal Teeth without TC, but y'all know me as Old Man Logan. Here we go, baby.
It's Big Oos, Old Man Logan, acknowledging.
Greetings and salutations again, good people. Welcome to Hot Take Wrestling. I thank you guys whenever y'all hit that button and say, let's see what those guys from Chicago are talking about. We've gone through some variations here. We're going through some changes. We're going through some adjustments. We're getting things going. We're trying to make this structure here real nice and reformed. So, you know, we can keep forming Voltron for y'all out there. So first and foremost, just want to say thank y'all for rocking with us. Thank y'all for taking a piece of your time to come and talk wrestling with your boys, okay? Your boys, Hot Take. All right, so I'm in a good mood. I'm a little silly tonight. I'm feeling all right. You know, it was one of the warmest days in Chicago so far. And yeah, man, I'm looking forward to the summer for a change because I'm normally in the house doing my introverted stuff. So
you mean you're not going to be on the block when they playing percolators?
No percolator for me. Well, you know, maybe it depends if there's, liquor involved. It all depends on that. But yeah, so without further ado, man, till our boy Willie Uso come in, we're going to go ahead and get started. KG, we're going to hit him with the weekly recap. You ready?
I'm ready.
All righty.
And now, your week in review.
As I referenced earlier, I'm gonna need them to make more of a commitment, Johnson himself, to this heel turn. I don't need, you can't force the fans to cheer. Like I said, I think we talked about this last week. I think they made the mistake, like I said, announcing this was his last year. That's another way the heel turn could have went over better. But also, I'm gonna need this man to stop wearing the home colors of the sport teams, the cities he's going to. Like Money in the Bank, he's wearing Lakers colors. Monday Night Raw, he's wearing Phoenix Suns colors. Like, bro, you're from Boston. You had a green shirt at one point. I know
Right.
the last time we was winning, I think Brock Lesnar left your land in it, but still, you got a green shirt. I know that was about 13 years ago. Get that revised, make it a little bit darker, some little salty green going.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
that would have been nice. But that being said, Money in the Bank came and went. I thought both ladder matches went off spectacularly well. Honestly, the women might have sold the
AG,
show.
hold that thought. Uno momento. One
Yeah,
second, my good friend. There that guy is right there. Willie Uso, ladies and gents, ladies and gents. Let me go ahead and hit your music, Playboy. Give me 1 second. Let me find you on here. There you go. I got you.
OMG, it's Clutch Uso, king in a black robe. Ill will, hashtag high takes king.
Clutch, talk to the people.
People over there, what's up? How you doing?
Does that mean you cutting your dreads too? For
Not happening. You not getting no live dread cut on Hot Take on live. No, it ain't. We ain't doing it. Mm-mm. Nice talk.
okay,
Nice talk. But now we ain't doing that.
nice transition. Yeah, it's yeah, with Buddy the Bake. I think I had all the predictions right. I could be mistaken, and I had to go back on it. You know, I ain't put nothing in our little friendly betting chat. But you know, I'm glad Naomi won. I thought she was the right pick. I didn't think anybody else outside of Roxanne Perez made sense. It's not really a babyface thing. The briefcase. Yeah, we've seen some people able to cash in without turning, like Biggie, RVD didn't turn. I think Punk's first cash in, he didn't turn after he cashed in. But it's more of a heel thing. And Naomi was overdue. I'm pretty sure she's gonna continue that trend of 100% success for the women. I would be shocked if she doesn't. I'd be disappointed if she doesn't. I think the fact that she's reinvented herself has gone over well so far with the fans for sure. You could tell they were excited for her because certain talents is just like they put in that work. They've gotten that equity with the fans. It's like they're gonna be excited regardless. Thought Lyra and Becky had another good match. Yeah, good chemistry. The way that went off, I thought it was pretty funny. Becky was actually this promo was not cringe on Monday. She went to the extreme. She was like, she separated my shoulder when she raised my hand. She tried to kill me. um, Bailey is back. Thank goodness. Arguably the unsung hero or the MVP of the women's division, arguably for the last X amount of years. Definitely up there. Between her, Rhea, and Bianca for sure. And Becky got to get an honorable mention as well.
Yeah.
That impromptu dominate match was randomly thrown on the card, but I'm not sure how I felt about it. It had a good, little 5-6 minute match, more on the lines of Dominic's starting to get cheered. You can't control what the fans do, but I don't think they set Octagon Jr. up necessarily. I know they're trying to do an incorporation of that, with AAA acquisition basically. I do want to go back and watch Chad Gable versus Elvi Kingo. Oh, EO David Kingo, should I say? I heard that was a dope match. So I want to go back and watch that. Did not get a chance to watch it. The men's Money in the Bank, like I said, sometimes there's nothing wrong going with the obvious. Because outside of LA Knight, did anybody else really make sense for the men this year? Personally, I didn't think so. Me and Logan had that discussion last week.
That was my pick. That was my pick, man.
Yeah, I would have loved that, but I just was like, outside of those two, didn't nobody really make sense, in my opinion. I was shocked that Cena took the pinfall loss. But Ron Killings is back, though. I thought Logan was going to take that loss, honestly, at that tag title match between that Jey Uso and Cody versus him and Cena. Especially which is hilarious, too, because the fact that wasn't even thrown together. Because wasn't Logan one of the people trolling Cena prior to Elimination Chamber? He came out to Cena's steam and everything like that. Got a new World Heavyweight Champion. I'm interested in that. We're going through recapturing the championship from a standpoint that the winner not of champions gets a championship match at SummerSlam. So I don't think they're going to be playing hot potato with it. So it's one of those things that's I'm interested to see where they're going because the men's bracket, basically, in a sense, we'll get into the women's bracket as well. I'm looking at that bracket, the way it's set up. I forgot who was all in that Fatal 4. I think it's the next Fatal 4-Way on SmackDown is supposed to be Orton, Aleister Black. I'm blanking on 2 other people who are in that on that side with Sammy. Because the winner of that match is going to face Sammy, so I'm thinking we're going to get Orton and Sammy on that side. The other right side is a mystery opponent against Bronson Reed. Because it's all Raw guys on the other side, and then I know Cody Priest. Is it or is LA Knight on the other side of the bracket?
Was LA Knight?
I don't remember.
I want to say Andrade was in there too, and
okay. So Andrade might right. He might be with Randy maybe because it's 2 Fatal 4-Ways on the SmackDown side because the winner of one faces Sammy. I saw Orton, Aleister Black, and a couple other people were in that one.
Orton,
and then
LA Knight, and there was somebody else. LA Knight was in that match.
Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah, there you go. That's it.
And then the right side, like I said, they got a mystery opponent coming, so maybe it's somebody getting called up, maybe from NXT. That's going to be one of the Fatal 4-Ways on Raw. I think Cody's coming out of that first bracket on the other side. Whoever wins between the Raw Fatal 4-Way will face the winner between him, Priest, and 2 other people I forgot on that side of the bracket too. So probably, I guess they just wanted to write Drew out of the storyline for a little bit because I don't think they're switching them back over to Raw. So, but then again, with that caveat that you're facing the world champion, they could on your brand or whatever. You never know. They could just flip and flop. Excited. We're gonna get this one last time. Feud of the year, almost 15 years ago. Punk and Cena getting that again, which is one of those things where I know is one of those matches, the feuds that it kind of had to happen as well because Cena needs viable opponents, whether until he's ready, not ready, or until that time comes and he drops the championship. Now, I'm interested in seeing because obviously I think it's the winner gets their own brand, so it's one of those things where but Cena's not technically exclusive to a brand at this point because if he defended the championship against Punk at Night of Champions, I mean I guess that goes out of the wayside. So I'm like it's hard to. So I guess I don't know if it's champion of any choosing if you win the King of the Ring or the Queen of the Ring tournament. Because I think Roxanne Perez is going to end up facing Jade, so some type of chicanery is going to go on. I don't know. Well, you know what? I think Jade's going to go over because the way they had that bracket set up, basically her and Charlotte would meet in the finals because they're on the opposite sides. We could potentially get Charlotte and Stephanie McCure. As much as I talk about Charlotte's character, that woman can wrestle her ass off, and that got like 5 stars written all over it because Charlotte and Stephanie.
Yeah.
So AEW, I'm a little bit behind on that. I know they're doing all build up to All In, obviously. So, Will, did you have anything you want to add to Worlds Collide if you're able to watch it? Because I actually was unable to watch that.
I was able to watch a good bit of it, and we're talking about it and not mentioning Iguana Man. You got to do that. That was one of those hidden things that happened on Worlds Collide that stuck out. That's getting under the radar, like traction. I was told he might be showing up on SmackDown, and just that part of like that particular group is showing like some type of. I think it's showing progress in the partnership. Like now, some of their guys are going to start getting over. I feel like Iguana Man getting some attention makes up for them spoiling their championship match because we knew Del Rio wasn't going to be there before it came together. But they definitely had some good matches. That Vikingo and Americano match. I'm sorry, Chad Gable. There's no separation anymore. Let's be real with ourselves. That was actually a good match. The match with the North American title Fatal 4-Way, it was pretty good too. I got to give it credit. I was excited about it when it came together. Can't say anything about the result, but it was a good match. Those are my biggest takes because it was kind of another one of those. It's nice to see it together, but I could figure out who was going to win. They are not the same people. I know that. Aside from that, I would want to make a comment about the Punk Cena thing. I think it's kind of messed up that match is being forced to happen in Saudi Arabia when it's so close to SummerSlam.
Yeah.
You know,
but you know the Saudi Prince wanted the Punk. They heard the chants when he was gone. They want the Punk, man.
well then they must have paid him that same money they gave Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, because he was big on boycotting the two. Well, I ain't gonna put words in Punk's mouth, but more along the lines of he was a big advocate against it at one point, I believe.
I feel like if they gave him enough money to, I mean, I'm saying people came out of retirement, and even what happened with Sami Zayn, they had to have done something substantial for Punk to change his position for at least one night. Maybe there was like all right, I'll do this for this night, but don't try to book me for Saudi anymore until this deal is done type shit, because
Right.
you know, it could definitely be something like that. We know Punk said that a minute ago, and hell, he might end. He might win, but not win the belt there. Like it got to be something that makes him want to be there. I also want to say about that tag match with him, Logan Paul, Jey Uso, and Cody. I thought Logan Paul was gonna take the pin too, but then he been taking a lot of L's lately.
Mm-hmm.
But they're still like pushing him. Like he lost, but still got a world title match. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like Cena can lose and it still look all right. And that's kind of
And that also gives Cody, because Cody pinned the champion, so now, via the rules, Cody's kind of like the number one contender again. So it's like he has a future match with the champion.
Now, to Will's point, if they were gonna, they could have held off Punk and Cena for SummerSlam from the standpoint that I think, and it's not, you don't just listen to, it could be some one-off situations, but I think that would have been a bigger selling point for the fans than to do a rematch, which I think we're gonna get. I'm thinking we're getting Cena and Cody again. I would have definitely preferred to had that nostalgia feeling at SummerSlam. Like I said, Orton was the exception.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the fact they're doing Backlash in St. Louis. That's how things worked out. Because that was obviously SummerSlam worthy as well. But I think that was the perfect spot for that to happen to continue to try to build heat on Cena. But yeah, I'm with Will with that one. I didn't even think about that. Like you said, SummerSlam is the next big event, basically, in a sense. So it's like,
and this is literally his next big opponent, in my opinion, that he could have had after this whole R-Truth thing. Even though it's still kind of going on, and we're gonna get into that, of course. But hell, that's what I think they really should have honestly did. Like, if you're gonna bring him back after he had a title match, you go ahead and you book Ron Killings to face Cena in Saudi Arabia, and then it'd be some over dramatic like beating or something where Punk gotta fight him at SummerSlam. That's what they should have did. Like that. They missed that. They missed the money on that one. They wouldn't have had to force Punk to go to Saudi to do that. It would have been a bigger match because let's be honest right now, his name is buzzing a little bit harder just because of recent events than CM Punk's.
Right.
That match would have did it, but I guess like Cena said, he's going with the plan. So hey, we're gonna just have to see him.
What you think about this? With Truth kind of injecting himself into the championship picture, right? He's attacked John Cena. He had the match with him Saturday night main event. That was only 4 minutes, so they didn't get a full length match there.
Right.
Comes back, attacks Cena at Money in the Bank during that tag match. Now we headed to Saudi. We definitely getting we're getting Ron Killings. We're not getting R-Truth. R-Truth's going now. He out the door. So there could be a scenario there where Killings again comes in, tries to kind of help assist, with Punk winning, and then maybe in a manner costing him the match, which could then lead to us maybe going to SummerSlam, where you maybe include Ron Killings into that championship picture, and you have a triple threat there with the potential cash in from Seth.
First of all, that just reminded me that the right person won the women's match and the wrong person won the men's match. I don't hate Seth Rollins. Of course, everybody that knows me knows that. But if you put him in that group with Paul Heyman just to put the suitcase on him when he can be champ at any point in his position, no matter what, is fucking stupid. If LA Knight or Solo Sikoa wasn't winning that match, it was a waste. I stand on that.
You sound like me and KG last week because it's basically what we said. Like Seth can become champion. It could be. We're gonna go old school with this. This is before they put Saturday Night Main Event back on Peacock and NBC. It could have been on Ion Network, a championship match, and Seth Rollins could have got the title there. Like he didn't need it. Like we're going back full circle, okay, to a moment he got it. What, KG? Almost 10 years ago.
11
years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, cool moment, but he doesn't need it. Like, dude, the fans were primed and ready to cheer for Penta. They were ready to cheer for LA Knight. They were, as much as, Solo's a heel, it would have been a fresh face with the briefcase, which is what was needed. You guys just had Damian Priest with the briefcase, which was a solid pick. It was a brand new person, a brand new face. Like, Seth doesn't need a briefcase anymore. He can basically call it whenever he wants to. He was doing that before they gave him the title for the Raw title. He was just injecting himself into the title picture. He fought Roman how many times during that title reign?
A few. Quite a few.
So while it's a safe hand, it's like, LA Knight was the person to put that on. Like, why not? And then they tease us. They give my man's a green shirt with gold lettering. So it's like, oh man, we just know it's Money in the Bank, right? Man, money in the, just something he would think something catchy to say. And then you put it on Seth. I didn't get it, but okay, let's just see how this goes.
I feel like LA Knight in that order probably would have been the second best choice, only because we feel like that because he's due that main event like position again after what happened when he was going with the bloodline and then fell into U.S. title contention. He got 2 U.S. titles out of that, by the way. Mm-hmm. So of course it's like, okay, now he has to do something else, but we talking about former tribal chief Solo Sikoa, main event at SummerSlam, Solo Sikoa, didn't have a match at WrestleMania, Solo Sikoa, who's in this storyline where he's obviously about to have an issue with Jacob Fatu, who is the current U.S. champion. If Solo would have won the briefcase, it makes that storyline matter more. Because that didn't happen and the turn was obvious, we're going to get some obvious shit.
Well, the payback out there too, at the time, his big brother was world champion.
Mm-hmm.
Cash in on any champion, any brand. So there's that threat out there too. You got that on top of the fact he's trying to get Jimmy, recruit him to join his bloodline, which they're not calling themselves bloodline no more, but his group.
Yep.
So it's like one of those things. Is obviously whose side Jimmy would pick if it came down to that. Had Jay still had a championship, but I don't know, man. I'm a little confused with. I'm not saying this wrong. I'm gonna let this play out.
Solo wins. Jey Uso's not as much of a transitional champion as he turned out to be when that night ended.
Mm-hmm. What y'all think about this comment right here?
I read it a few times, and how many times we gonna go through that?
It
has been revisited a couple times. I know Edge his briefcase off of Mr. Kennedy.
Well, Edge had to. They did that because he was misery. Yeah, and he was misdiagnosed too.
That's a story.
RVD did it one time. He defended it, but he retained it against Shelton Benjamin. Mm-hmm. That was the first person that did it, and then obviously Otis dropped it to Miz.
Yeah,
and that was it, right? They actually lost the briefcase in the match.
I believe so.
Those 3 times happened. I feel like there's one more, and I can't.
But I think that's the only people that lost the briefcase was Kennedy and Otis. I think everybody else either cashed in or they didn't successfully cash in. I don't remember the briefcase changing hands
Wait.
from nobody.
What was my man name? That was tagging with Cody back in the day.
Damian Sandow. He just lost.
Same Sandow. He didn't lose the briefcase. He
got it stolen, and Cody like threw it in a river or something, and he got it like a bronze briefcase, and then he tried to cash in on Cena, and Cena buried him. I say that because Cena had like one arm.
Raw.
Yeah, that was
Cena
Raw.
Cena had like one arm.
Mm-hmm.
That was Super Cena era still.
Big Match John, man.
Yeah, that happened.
Because that was the year they should have put it on Cody, but that's not here nor there.
So
wait,
you touched on something.
What happened with Theory? What happened with Theory? I forgot. Did he just lose it, or did he?
No, he tried to cash in on the U.S. He was the first person to try to cash in on somebody that wasn't a world champion. He did lose it though. He tried to cash. He tried to cash in on Seth, I think, and then I think he tried to make it a triple threat or something. I think Bobby Lashley was feuding with them at the time too.
Yep, that's what happened. I remember now. I think the
main
reason
Bobby retained.
No, Seth was the champion.
Seth was the champion. Oh, okay.
Because Seth got the title because Brock Lesnar like beat the shit out of Bobby Lashley at one point, and then Bobby Lashley stood to defend the title, or he chose to defend the title still, or something.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, the only reason that I don't see Seth being in a position like that is because with him being a former winner and the way he won the last time, or having something like having a whole group around him, he's not gonna set himself up to defend that in no match. Let's be real.
Right. Well, I was saying, and to piggyback off that, the way this gimmick is now in the first place, he's too protective of the quote unquote future to even risk that.
That he ain't putting it up against nobody. We just got to figure out if he gonna use it at a big event or if he gonna use it at one of the regular Raw or SmackDowns. But he's gonna cash it in on whoever the champion is. And I'm gonna say it now: whenever he cash it in, it's not gonna be on Gunther. So whoever Gunther ends up losing to at some point with this title is the person that's gonna be, and it's gonna be a face. It's not gonna be Jey Uso. So it's one of those chances to look at like who could still be in a position to be that person.
Sammy.
I would say Punk.
I was thinking Punk, but I was thinking leaning more towards Sammy because like that's the Punk and Rollins. I'm not gonna say it's ran its course, but it's kind of like they wanted it to run its course because I was looking at Money in the Bank. You know, Jacob Fatu and JC got involved. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed got involved. Punk and Sammy were nowhere to be found, and they've been the main people talking about they need to stop Seth from gaining power. They were nowhere to be found at Money in the Bank. All the run-ins.
At some point when, like, around last year or so, like, Punk was taking shots, you know, at Gunther in a certain way to say, we gonna dance one day and all that. But I feel like if it was gonna happen, that could have happened soon. And I think him messing with Cena in his title reign, they're not gonna just throw him right at him right away. So I don't even think they're gonna fight in this particular reign Gunther got going on, which is messed up because they kind of alluded to the idea last year.
Mm-hmm. And Gunther hinted at it too on when Jay was conflicted about who he was going to pick. He was like, you know, if I beat CM Punk, if I beat John Cena, I beat so-and-so, that adds to my legacy. So he hinted at that too, Gunther himself. And that's not to say LA Knight can't find himself back into the championship picture. Because ultimately, I don't want it to go back to status quo if and when, not if, but when Cena drops that championship. It might be the LA Knight.
What if we get LA Knight and Cena?
That's what I'm saying. It might be LA Knight that takes the title off.
Series.
That's what I was saying. He might still be a candidate to be the one to take the title off Cena. Because you want somebody that's over for one, and two, it's like you kind of want something new. And nothing wrong with it. Just can't be Cody. As much as I like Cody, it can't be Cody.
I'm gonna say this, right, and it's very early. I got a hot take for y'all though. Mm-hmm. LA Knight wins the Royal Rumble. They didn't put the briefcase on him, but he's been hot. He's been consistently hot too. Like he's been up there. Like Will said, like we've wanted this for him since the Bloodline feud. Like he held his own with Roman in the Bloodline. Like he's held his own when he was the U.S. champion with the feud with Shinsuke, like feuding with Solo and Fatu, and it's just like you got to get the payoff from that eventually. Now I don't know if that means it'll be heel LA Knight or face LA Knight, but early on, if he's healthy, I'm thinking you got to give him some sort of payoff. And by them not giving him the briefcase, it has to be the Rumble. At least I'm thinking.
The only thing is, you said that's what you hinted at. It could. I wouldn't want them to turn him, but if I could see them doing that and still the point in him winning still. But I think a heel is overdue to win the Rumble though. I don't know the last time a heel won the Rumble. It's been close to 10 years. Probably Triple H.
Man, get at the Solo, damn it. I hate they.
I just
man,
and Logan, I would co-sign that, but it's another dude that's hotter than fish grease crowd wise. I think Jacob Fatu winning the Rumble next year.
I can see Logan Paul winning the Rumble next year.
I could see it, but I think Logan's already kind of been in that position too. He's definitely going to be a world champion at some point. They got options basically.
Yeah, Logan might be world champion next WrestleMania, like at the end of it, night 1, night 2. Totally, I could totally see that.
It's gonna happen. It's just a matter of how they gonna do it, and that's why I wanted to kind of comment about the idea of LA Knight winning the Rumble, because to be honest, because of his position in different points and being in the main event before, honestly, LA Knight could win a fatal 4-way for number 1 contender spot and end up fighting Cena, and it'll look anytime between now and the Rumble.
And that's why I think we were talking about earlier last time Will was on there. I was like, I thought they could have put the briefcase on Logan Paul. The reason I knew they weren't probably going to is because they had just put him in a high-profile world title match. Granted, they did the same thing with Jay. Yeah. So there's precedence there because Jay lost on Saturday Night Main Event, and 2 weeks later he wins the Rumble. I thought Logan Paul was the best option because it's somebody that's obviously a draw. Somebody's putting the work in to be a top heel in that position. So I definitely would have saw that, but I just didn't know if they're going to do a repeat of where somebody comes up short and then they right back thrust it into championship contention at any point. I thought he was the perfect candidate though, had they not put him in that world title match against Jey Uso.
Yeah.
So KG, in the weekly recap, we've been hinting at it, we've been touching the pause, but we have not covered it completely, and that is Jey Uso losing the World Heavyweight Championship on Monday Night Raw this past Monday to Gunther. How are we feeling about that, guys? Because that had to be so unexpected. I can't remember the last time the WWE not the WWE Championship, but the Heavyweight Championship, the Raw Heavyweight Championship, even though that's the new brand, but the Raw brand title, changing hands on Monday Night Raw,
in that capacity. It's been a minute.
Yeah,
I think the last time was when Big E cashed in on Bobby Lashley.
Yep.
I think.
Wait. Yeah, that's for the men. I was gonna say that Io Sky and Rhea Ripley match, but that's for the women.
That was more shocking than Gunther. I had a chance Gunther was gonna win. I had it in the back of my mind. I didn't think Io had a snowball chance in hell.
I thought it was Philly.
They sandwiched her
a few for her and Bianca, and then she ended up being a big part.
And I thought Asuka would have been making the return there, and that was going to set up an Asuka-Io match at WrestleMania, but obviously that didn't take place.
Yeah.
Who's also supposed to be popping back up in this women's Queen of the Ring tournament. They just quietly put Asuka's name in there. Nothing about a big return or any of that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's going to be a pretty dope Fatal 4. I think she's in the same one with Stephanie McClure and Raquel Rodriguez and someone else. Oh, Shinsuke, I forgot. He's in that. I think he's in the one with Cody and Damian Priest. Still forgetting one other person. But, they did quietly just bring her back. No fanfare. That's
From a champ.
Yeah. That's to me, it's kind of disrespectful.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, we not gonna get no fanfare for Asuka.
Asuka's last 2 years ain't what they supposed to be, and I don't like that.
Yeah. Are we just gonna? Oh, she's on up. She,
Yeah, Asuka still haven't won at WrestleMania, so that's kind of wild.
Let's not talk about such injustices tonight. All right. Cause damn.
I want to know what happened that Jay's title. I mean, and the bad thing there is because last week, KG, I said he was
Mm-hmm.
gonna be a transitional champion. And it happened. And I'm like, dog, like I didn't want him to lose it that quick. I'm thinking he's gonna lose maybe SummerSlam.
Yeah, I
And
think we
here
both kind
comes
of came to that
Gunther.
conclusion.
I remember us saying one time that it looked like if anybody was going to be a transitional champ between him and Cena, of course, it was going to be Jey Uso. But it's also that thing where because he was so hot that ain't nobody see 52 days. Come on, man.
You couldn't.
2 days. I thought if anything, that match could have ended on some like DQ, no contest stuff, and they built on their feud, and we got it at least, past Saudi. Cause Gunther legit, like I'm not gonna act like it don't look right or it's a bad look that he lost to him when 75% of Gunther's time in WWE period he's been champion. So it doesn't look like he just lost to some poo butt wrestler or something because he's that person. He's fit himself right into an instant position. Go ahead.
You know who I'm forgetting because
Who?
he's not exclusive to a brand. I just realized who probably might be that fourth man in this fatal four way. It's Bronson Reed, Rusev, Sheamus, and I think I know who the fourth person is. Yeah, one to get OTC. Probably gonna get Gunther versus Roman at SummerSlam. It sets up for Seth to cash in on Roman.
Damn, that makes way too much sense.
The tables turned, huh?
That might be the one right there. Ooh, that might be it. Because they say he was coming back this summer, so what would he do if he didn't do that? And he never had that belt.
And they wanted him on Netflix anyway. And they got Cena. They got Cena for SmackDown right now for the time being for this whole my last year run. I mean, I'm assuming Punk gonna make some appearances on SmackDown now since he's.
And hey, it's been rumblings about like the amount of money that Roman's being paid, per his contract.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you put him on Netflix and give him the championship, it's gonna make people come watch Raw on Netflix the way they were watching SmackDown when he was champ. And then having the briefcase, and that makes sense because let's be honest, they're not about to do like a whole summer back and forth between Gunther and Jey Uso. They're not.
No, they're not. They're not. Plus, I think it was one of the lines too. It's like we don't know the ins and outs of the workings, quote unquote, backstage and who's doing what ratings wise and all that. I mean, there's ways to find the stuff out, but you didn't want to have Roman come back for that match, and he might have been a victim of circumstance, Jay. And you know what? Nobody needs as over as he is. Nobody needs a set amount of days as champion. It would have been nice to get a little bit longer of a run, but I think it's one of those things where it's like because of that they wanted to set this up where that's why I think that's the goal. Because if Gunther's assuming he keeps in that championship going to the SummerSlam, you need a marquee person for him to face because to y'all's point, Cena may not, since they're using him against Punk, I'm thinking we're getting Cena Cody rematch. So you need two marquee matchups for sure on the men's side. And then the women, whoever is, so you're supposed to be facing your own brand.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like we don't need Charlotte and Tiffany again. Obviously, they don't. Yeah. Okay. So maybe we get Jade and Tiffany at SummerSlam.
And Naomi cashes in.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. So
is Brock Lesnar on the alumni section of the WWE?
Well, I am not.
I haven't checked.
I couldn't give you a direct answer from a standpoint that they only recently started referencing on television again. So I'm imagining he would get an alumni since
either he's there or he's not. And if he's not, you know what that means.
Remember the. Go ahead, Will.
Like if he's not in the alumni section, he's under the Benoit Act because of what's been going on.
Well, he's on the website. They just don't have him on a brand.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they did want Gunther versus Brock Lesnar a few years back. This is back when Keith Lee was still there. So we're talking what?
Free agent Keith Lee.
Yeah. So this was 5-6 years ago now at this point?
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit more
Something
than
like that, yeah. Man, imagine him back and facing Gunther at some point next year or something.
I'm thinking SummerSlam.
I mean, it's possible. He should be really refreshed and ready.
It's definitely possible. I think they'll probably be I think that'll probably be WrestleMania though, because they want Gunther to get his. They want Gunther to have his WrestleMania because he undid the job the last 2 years for Sammy and Jay. Not that they weren't deserving; they've been there longer. They're over. They both super over, so I say. I think they'll save that for WrestleMania so Gunther can have because he won that triple threat, which was up there. Because like I said all the time, it was 3 matches from WrestleMania 39 that stole the show. It was that triple threat between him, Drew, and Sheamus. It was Rhea and Charlotte, and then there was the tag title match, Usos versus Sammy and KO. Like those are all like 10 out of 10, in my opinion. But from a singles perspective, one-on-one, Gunther is yet to have his WrestleMania moment. He's being portrayed as the guy that can't win the big one. You defeat Brock, you don't need a championship on the line. That is Brennan the big one. So I think they'll push that back. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You don't need a title involved. Just the aura of Brock Lesnar itself, the guy that was the one retiring 21-1 or 22-1 or whatever before Roman beat him. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think they'll push. That's the only reason I think they'll hold that off to WrestleMania. Because, like I said, Roman needs something to do when he comes back. I don't see Roman not being on the SummerSlam card this year. Why isn't Roman on the card?
Roman should definitely be on the SummerSlam card.
Because I don't think you want him to face Cena because Cena's due for a win against him. But I mean, you can go that route. But I just think there's too much unfinished business with him and Seth. Like I said, it is even more of an incentive to get into that feud because Seth's little crew took him out. So what better way to do it? To enter the tournament, take out Seth's other henchman, take out his little golden boy Bronson Reed, who he still kind of has beat with because Bronson Reed was on, the Timu Bloodline team.
I feel like if Roman don't get put on Raw and have anything to do with Gunther in the world title picture, which could obviously prolong his feud with Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman and that whole group, he'd have to be the person that takes the belt off Cena at the end of the tour. Because Cena's openly on TV right now calling himself the greatest of all time and the GOAT and all that once again. But I very firmly remember during his feud with John Cena, he mentioned, I can't own that because he's the champion. He's doing this, and this.
Yeah.
Roman can throw that in his face along this run.
Yeah. I just think
his character will do something like that. Shit.
Yeah. It's not no guarantee that that's actually what's happening, but because you don't want too much star power, so maybe Punk's just been quietly moved to SmackDown just now with this feud. Because they don't necessarily need a rhyme or reason for somebody to go off to another show.
And that's been happening a lot too. It ain't necessarily been like super shows or anything that they used to try to build it back in the day to justify, a Raw superstar being on SmackDown or vice versa. Like you just look up, CM Punk's making an appearance here on SmackDown, or now what they do that I do like that they do this at least is they do a whole segment in the back where they talk to the GM. Hey, I asked them to come be on the show tonight. That was a nice little touch because it brings the continuity to it. It makes it seem a little more realistic. You know what I mean? But I just was sitting here, dude, while you guys were talking, and I was just like, what if Brock Lesnar comes back for one last match with Cena? Because Cena, he's had the one last match with Orton, right? He's getting ready to have one last match with CM Punk. So to me, this is like, okay, he's playing the hits to an extent. We know we're not going to get a Dave Bautista. Dave Bautista doesn't wrestle anymore. Edge isn't in WWE anymore. Daniel Bryan's not there. But a Brock Lesnar
Well, the way they wrote Brock off, he was portrayed as a baby face, putting Cody over
Yeah.
with the whole raising his hand and everything, the handshake, the head nod. Not saying that it's not gonna happen. That's actually to me. I think that's. I just think if Brock comes back, he's not one of those people who he just needs to be relevant. Obviously, he's gonna have to win his first feud back, but I also think you kind of want him to. So I think Brock would probably go. Trying to think what's the place to put Brock at. We said before that we don't need certain people constantly jobbing or anything like that, but it also depends. Do you want Brock back? Like I said, even though I just referenced they brought him back because they not brought him back. They ended his last run as a babyface to a degree. I mean, he could. Who's to say he doesn't? He could come back as a heel.
I mean, but Brock did spend most of that last run like putting people over. He
Yeah,
put
no.
Cody over. Cody, that was his last match there, right?
Yeah.
Match against Cody.
Yeah.
And he wasn't really a heel. It's just he kind of turned on Cody, and it was one of the things. At the end of the match, Brock showed his respect to Cody, and he went on.
Well, no, he initially did. Well, are you talking about like about the end of the match?
Yeah, at the end of the match.
Oh, okay.
Cowboy Brock, and I think he did a segment or two. He was full face.
Yeah.
No.
What I'm saying though is you can get the flip. We've always seen heel Brock versus face Cena.
Yeah.
About face Brock versus heel Cena. We
That hasn't happened
seen that since the
ruthless aggression.
Yeah, we ain't seen that at the Doctor versus Young. Here Comes the Pain.
Mm-hmm. Which is why that makes it. I don't know if it's going to happen, but that's why it's got the wheels turning for me, at least in this sense, because we're talking about box office, like the money's like they want to continue to say, oh, Raw's ratings are in the dumpster, right? Like they keep trying to do things to discredit WWE. I don't know. Personally, I don't really care about the ratings thing. I think that stopped 20 years ago when we had to go from TNT to USA Network, you know what I mean, to see what the NWO or Goldberg, and then go over here and see what DX and Stone Cold doing. You know what I'm saying? Like it's what
Goldberg was doing.
Like ratings don't matter anymore. Like you're gonna watch it on the DVR or you're gonna whenever.
I could see another spot for Brock though. Not that he won't face Cena. If you want him to win his first match back, I could definitely see somebody there grooming where they would give that person a bigger moment than they've ever had, win, lose, or draw. Mm-hmm. And he has reason to have beef with this guy. I could see Brock or the guy that's part of this stable. I could see Brock and Braun Breaker in his first feud back.
I say his partner, bro.
Or Bronson, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because the fact that Heyman betrayed him, I mean, yeah, they kind of culminated that when Brock had his last match against Roman type thing at SummerSlam 2022. But that doesn't mean that Brock doesn't necessarily still have that grudge because he was the first Paul Heyman guy technically. Well, in WWE, he had other Paul Heyman guys all over.
He also got a long history with issues with Seth Rollins too. So
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
his pleasure to mess that up. And Brock is the biggest person in the bunch, so that's why I'm like, it's gonna be like pressure on him to go after Bronson to give us that, Bronson Reed F5 spot, win, lose, or draw.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about that spot though, Jacob Fatu, that pop up Samoan drop. That was insane,
wasn't it?
That guy's a star. I've been saying that since the first time I laid eyes on him on WWE television. I was like, this dude is special. I haven't made the time yet to go back and watch his MLW stuff, but I've seen like bits and pieces of it here and there. I do remember watching it some when Karrion Kross was there during his time before he re-signed with WWE, and it was something on like YouTube. But I saw Jacob then. But that face turn, I mean, because he's technically, we can all agree now he's a face, right?
Oh yeah.
Call Solo. The briefcase. I hate you, Solo. As corny as that was, but still,
it happened. Yeah,
it happened. But all signs point to that maybe being a SummerSlam. Can they hold that off until SummerSlam, or will that probably be a match in Saudi? Jacob Fatu Fatu versus.
I think because of how long the feud been going, that's gonna end up being at SummerSlam. I think we might just get like interviews or a segment or something in Saudi, but they ain't gonna. That's not gonna. It shouldn't. Like they've been teasing this turn since last year.
Well, the option you have for Saudi Arabia is, especially with the way Jacob beat him down in Money in the Bank, you could do JC Mateo versus Jacob Fatu in the meantime.
Yep.
If you want to do that at Night of Champions.
And Night of Champions?
Yeah. Because I think Jacob's due to keep that championship for a while. I know everybody named Mama don't got to be a Grand Slam champion, but I saw something that WWE might bring back day one for 2026. The rumor is supposed to be Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre for the U.S. title. Which would be insane if they give them the right amount of time. That's how physical both of those dudes are.
Yeah.
And that's another reason why that Roman and Seth thing stemmed from. I saw that they were potentially talking about Roman versus Seth that day one for the world title. They were talking about either a fatal four. They were talking about either a triple threat between Punk, Cena, and Cody. There's a couple other rumor matches I saw on the card, so I was like, oh, and that all kind of made sense.
So I just thought about this. We're talking about where Roman could go, and even like the whole Brock and Lesnar thing. I just remember something. WWE has this thing sometimes where they do the draft and they stick by the rules where everything goes to the draft for a minute until they start releasing people and start signing other people, whether they get re-signed or they debut on NXT or WWE. And then, like, right in front of our eyes, like, the draft rules really don't matter no more. Because literally now we're seeing times where we don't know where this contender really is, but he's getting a championship on this brand's title now. After they do the whole other round of what? Releases. Because, like, right now, what brand is Ron Killings on?
Great question. Because
he
can't be on SmackDown,
right?
He was on SmackDown. Now he's on. He technically was on Raw. Our Truth was on Raw, and then he got a title match against John Cena at Saturday Night Main Event. Got released, and he's in SmackDown business now. But then once again, he made his promo on Raw, but he's gonna go after John Cena. So he's on SmackDown, or is he? Because they going back and forth again. He ain't the only one. Who else just did that?
You're right, because Truth was on Raw, but remember he was like on both shows for at least 2 months. You was
doing segments on SmackDown and wrestling on Raw.
Yeah.
And then he got that match. Like, they've been jumping shows since the first round releases after the draft.
But Roman was technically never a part of a brand either, though, because Roman got pulled. Paul pulled Roman's
from the draft.
And the rest of the bloodline got drafted.
He just stayed on SmackDown to pursue Solo and how all that stuff went. He can jump right on Raw right now and it wouldn't be a problem because he was never a SmackDown superstar.
On top of the fact that they had the tribal combat or whatever on Raw. Even though that was just the Raw for Netflix, but still, it's like they got guys wrestling on different shows that are exclusive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like the moment they open, the moment they openly showed the TNA and NXT dynamic, the draft didn't matter no more. Because now it's like, okay, they starting to get a little bit more excited about other people's wrestlers being on other shows. Fuck the draft. Let's just have people fight that we want to see fight whoever, and it just goes that way because that's kind of where we at right now. Because Cena having the belt, it's a championship nostalgic run because he's in his heel run, so they just going off of that. However they doing it. So honestly speaking, just due to the fact that John Cena has the championship, it's fair game on the whole entire WWE roster. Everybody. He can have regular matches on Raw if he wanted to against like Joe Hendry just because it's been talked about on the internet. You see what I'm saying?
You know, I just my mind where my mind's working sometimes about wrestling is all over the place. Honestly, we all said Logan's gonna get a world title eventually, right? You
Mhm.
know, somebody who's getting over, obviously, Dirty Dom.
Oh yeah.
Calm has a funny way of working out. What if Liv leaves Dom for like Logan Paul or something in the storyline?
Mm.
And Logan Paul takes the IC title off him.
Mm.
Ah,
Or maybe Finn does something 2 years in a row because last year he caused Damian Priest. They're clearly doing a jealousy angle. Maybe Finn does something to cost Dirty Dom that title. I don't know. That doesn't necessarily mean
I
Liv.
think it'll
I do
definitely
think Liv's going. What's up?
it'll definitely be more that route because they've been recycling that underlying
Yeah,
tension.
hatred. Yeah.
y'all know what this sound like? It's
I
gonna be
mean,
so
we get.
corny.
Wait,
It's
wait,
gonna be so
wait.
corny. But you know
What it
what?
sound,
You know what this sounds like to me?
sound like?
Ooh, the round table's getting heated. Heated round table.
I got one.
Music.
Who's a like a dark horse pick to take the title off Cena that the fans would get behind? Because I got one in mind.
A
A
dark
dark
horse.
horse?
I got one in
Hmm.
mind actually. I mentioned him earlier, and I gotta rescind my pick to win the King of the
Mm.
Ring tournament.
I got man.
I
Crazy as
got
it
one too.
sounds.
I got one.
Go.
I
Go ahead,
would
Will.
not think it would be so oblivious or weird if they actually did put the belt on Ron Killings. This is supposed to be his last run. The
Hmm.
whole locker room respect him. It
Hmm.
wouldn't be something that they hate. And then you can do something like that and have Cena get him back and actually break the damn record, and it wouldn't look bad.
Because I think it's safe to assume, and I know we've said it a couple of times here,
Hmm.
and I've seen some people say it too. Cena's gonna be an 18-time world champion. He's gonna drop it to somebody and get it back.
I don't think he is.
I think so. Before this year is
I'm
over.
not saying I can't say it's not possible. I don't think he is because then at that point he really is going to be the last world champion. Why would he have any incentive to defend it again? If he already broke the record.
The only reason I agree with that statement is because John Cena's open mission statement is to keep the belt throughout the tour and take it home. He's not even talking about breaking the record anymore. He's happy where he at, and he want that to be where he's standing. Then
Well, no, he already said he broke the record. What the record WWE
yeah,
now just because the
yeah.
real record is like 22. So I don't, you know.
He's not talking about setting it though. He like, okay,
Right.
where we at is it, and then I'm gone. Like he not trying to like build. He trying to like be this is it. Like
Yeah.
he's you
Because
know
if he gets 18 definitively in WWE, who is touching that? Because I think Randy's at 15, but Randy doesn't
14.
necessarily need the championship. I
mhm.
think they said 15 on WWE
He was going for
TV.
he was going for 15.
So that match would have been 15. Got
Yep.
you.
Yeah, Orton had to.
I'm not saying it's impossible. I just don't see Cena getting it back because I think that's the whole point, and that ruins the whole gimmick that he's pulling right now. If he loses it, it says he's gonna retire with it. That would just ruin it itself. That would be his, but in a sense, that will be his swan song. Like that's just a thing
Yeah.
he's saying. There's no way they let Cena retire with that championship. I just don't see them letting him do it.
I mean, I won't say never because this is WWE that makes up a title or brings the title back.
No, yeah.
No, they
So
don't think it won't happen.
and
They
KO
better not bring. They better
definitely
not bring back Lord Zed. They better not do that. I'll tell you that right now. You know what I'm talking about when I
K,
say Lord Zed.
KO definitely had everybody looking at the old school winged eagle belt while he was running around during the Cody feud.
And
Like,
they
hey,
just better not. They just better not bring back Lord Zed championship.
speaking of Lord Zed, he's
I'm talking about the Universal Championship. You know that's the running joke. They look like they was
yeah.
made off the skin of Lord Zed.
Yeah, you see what it is to people too.
But I was talking about the actual Lord Zed, VKM.
Yeah.
He there's a rumor going on that he's trying to get Saudi backing and possibly buy back the WWE.
Man, he
If
come
that's even
back.
possible.
He come back. He gonna fire everybody he fired when he left the first time. He gonna bring back Brock and put the belt on him. Man, y'all gonna see like Goldberg again. and then he gonna put the U.S. belt on him. Like Finn Balor gonna be in the main event as the demon, but he gonna start losing still. Like it's gonna be a lot of. I don't wish that on WWE, especially because of the way Vince is set up. Like at this point in booking, and if there was ever such thing as favoritism in management, Vince will show you that shit in a heartbeat. And the moment you put him in the spotlight, and around this, like, nah, that wouldn't be good. That wouldn't be good.
No, Ron Killings actually would make sense with the way they build him. I was gonna say Sammy.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Possibly.
hell, I was gonna say that's the only person that if Triple H, Nick Khan, whoever, or Vince is in charge, they vouch for that. You know, Vince love him.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's why I say I think he's going to get 18. Like a transitional run for Ron Killings in WWE where he really gets to show his stuff. Because here he hasn't really shown his stuff. You know, old fans, you know, not to call us old, but fans that know about his run in TNA, you know, within him becoming NWA champion there during his stint there as Ron Killings before, know that Killings can really go in the ring. So these other fans, these fans of R-Truth that have just, they know 24/7 title R-Truth, comedic timing out of this world R-Truth, they don't really know about what he can really do in the ring for 20, 25 minutes.
Yeah, I wanted to make a comment towards that real fast, but KG, did you say you think that Sami Zayn would have been another guy that you think?
Yeah, as a dark horse, not will do it because my Bundy is on LA Knight to be the guy that actually wins the championship for Cena.
Okay.
I just said it because he's over enough where the fans would be invested, and it wouldn't because like I said, Cena's starting to get cheered again.
Well, he been getting cheered. They didn't boo him. He got booed. He got booed when Rock and Travis Scott was out there with him. They've been cheering.
He was getting heat on Raw the night after that. He got the beer bottle thrown at him on SmackDown.
Yeah, that happened.
And they swiftly got dude out of there. That was hilarious.
No, I mean it's been more of a positive reaction. But I'm saying when you take the title off him, you don't want it to come off as like you want somebody who's over enough. Like you said, Truth is definitely over enough. LA Knight is as well. I think Sammy is too. I don't think.
Yeah.
But I'm not. I was saying it's a dark horse. Not like that's because
was the question
because another person.
What was the question just about taking the title off of Cena or taking the title off of?
No, take the title off Cena. Off Cena specifically.
Yeah, then I'm staying in that lane for damn sure.
Because I would make a case for Sammy against Gunther.
No, I was just saying just off of Cena because that's gonna mean it won't mean more to be a champion on either brand, but just beating the whole thing of beating the person that just set the all-time record type thing.
Yeah.
Because I hate to keep throwing this name around, but another dude I was thinking about was Jacob Fatu. Depending on how long they could keep that title on Cena, I did say he would win the Rumble potentially, but that wouldn't really work out because Cena's last year. I guess that would mean December. So
I had wanted to comment and say from the whole R-Truth point and even that pick in general, a point you was making about the whole thing about the fans having to go back and look at that TNA run era Ron Killings to have an idea what he could be as this person main event picture. It's actually a slightly deeper than that, bro. You got the fans that can go back and remember that particular era of him, and then you got the other fans who have been around enough to see his last main event like push where he was a heel facing who?
In the Rock, Johnson in the Rock.
Yep. So there's really, and I think this is just like a hypothetical guess, even based on his demeanor and attitude and his promo. We're about to see like a lovable heel version of said character from that feud.
Mm-hmm.
They're not gonna be able to boo him, but we're gonna get that attitude. No little Jimmy, none of the psycho stuff in between. This is just that's gonna take you back to the TNA part of him. And
that's what I've been waiting for them to finally do that with this guy for the longest time. Like, granted, I get it. Like, the dude is comedic gold, but at the end of the day, like it's about being able to switch it up. Like
The Judgment Day was getting stale.
Yeah.
Live, laugh, love. Like what? He kicked someone out of a group he wasn't officially. How you let him do that to you? Man? Come on, tell me.
And on the flip of that, not to say that Miz's tenure wasn't as reverent. Like he had a great career in WWE, but
oh yeah, Awesome Truth made him a little relevant during the time he was like not doing nothing.
Yeah,
we didn't know we needed Awesome Truth until it just happened, and they put the belts on him, and then a WrestleMania moment came out of that too. So yeah, like Vince was. I'm gonna say this: Vince was right about R-Truth. Even though the role he put him in wasn't ideal, the point of it was I can give this dude this and turn it into gold. That was one of the reasons why some of the best still wanted to work with him in spite of what his character was supposed to be. Like for what reason did he have to have that promo exchange with Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar at all?
Right.
You know, just being in the Women's Royal Rumble, when he took a ladder and put it in the Royal Rumble thinking there was money in the bank. You know, what Truth gonna do when I win money in the bank? You're not in the match. Like the dude really took shit and turned it into Shinola, as the old people say. So I would think it wouldn't even be terrible if you in a feud with the last person that put you in the main event picture as this character and it actually became something. Because all he gonna do right now, seriously, is sell merchandise and put other people over as this character still. Because he's still, I mean, let's be real, that's what's gonna happen. If he don't win a belt, all he gonna do is sell merch and still put other people over. They're not gonna put a belt on him if he don't win one in this capacity. Straight up. No tag belt. He don't need an IC belt along this. No, if they don't put a world title on Ron Killings, right, they're not going to.
It makes no sense to have him in any other title picture but the title, like the heavyweight championship. Like,
and it's actually believable right now, so that's why I'm even going there about it. It might not have been as believable when he was winning 24/7 titles and letting women pin him and stuff like that. That's not what's going on right now.
And that also shows you the fans have wanted that, because the fans are clamoring for this. They loving this. Like, yo, we knew he had this all along. He just never got the opportunity. But that's why I say Cena will become an 18-time champion, because they will get. I do really believe they'll give Killings. Like, it's so hard to not say true. I do believe they'll give Ron Killings that title push. Even if it's a transitional run, he'll get it for that knockup, you know. And Cena will get number 18. I think that's how that's gonna go.
Hey, do y'all remember when the Shannon Sharp tape came out, and then it was on live stream. R-Truth, Ron Killings' comment went viral.
What was his comment? I don't remember his comment.
He was like, no, it wasn't one. He was following the damn video when it was streaming live, like, and it got put on TMZ. Like, Ron Killings is a funny guy, but that's him. He was talking about the girl Michelle and all, like, you know what was going on in the video. Yeah. They pointed that out because, like, the wrestler is making it funny.
Right. Mama
Shannon Sharp know who Ron Killings is.
All right. So let's pivot for a second. We talked about Ron Killings. Shout out to Clutch. I see you got the new name now. So is Willie Uso gone, man? Is it Clutch Killings going forward? Like,
I'm whoever I feel every week. I'm gonna be a new person.
What do we think the likeliness is of CM Punk dethroning John Cena? Because we talked about it, but we didn't really like go in depth on it. So, like, what do we think the likeliness is of that happening?
I doubt it. Not in Saudi Arabia, at least.
Do we think he'll ever touch the title? That was something I asked in the group chat, the community chat.
If CM Punk becomes world champion, he ain't doing that until the final year of his contract or the year he's supposed to be retiring officially in WWE. Right now, he's on this have some good matches infused run to make up for either being injured and what happened when he left.
He's in a goodwill tour at this point, yeah.
Pretty much. Like, it's not necessarily a redemption story, but it's a redemption story.
It kind of already turned into one. The fact he main event at WrestleMania, that was his biggest goal he ever had in the first place. So I don't even think it's about championships no with him.
Exactly, to be honest. That's why I feel like they might want to just do it because of the champion that he was at some point. They love to do that sometimes with, the classic wrestlers. We've seen Vince do it where he'll give somebody, I'm not going to say he'll be past his prime. That's kind of messed up, but it'll be definitely past the point where he should have been. He'll probably get a world title just because of, the Punk he was, in so many words. But anytime soon, man, Dirty Dom might win the world title before Punk. And I'm not saying that in no kind of mean way. Like, literally, I just think that they're not going to say, hey, we're going to put the championship on his back. It's been, I feel like they wanted to trust him for a minute. And that's why they made, like, the Seth Rollins feud so long. You get it? Like, let's see if he gets injured or this goes bad, knowing they're only professionally yoked, but not personally yoked. Let's see how long this plays out. That's like a Punk. I think Hunter set that up perfectly. Yeah. Let's see him work somebody he don't like and see how long he doesn't get injured, and then see what we do with him.
I think Punk's almost in that Shawn Michaels
when he came back Dave run.
Yeah, it's like it's not even about the championship, and he was like, it's just this person is going to draw for the company. He's going to put on good matches, sometimes great. He's going to have some good or great feuds, like the Drew McIntyre and Punk feud outside of maybe Hangman and Swerve, and then maybe Mariah and Toni Storm. At least on American TV, I don't think there was a better feud last year between out of those three. Those three are probably the best feuds from wrestling last year. And then kind of that Daniel Bryan space too. Even though that was like during Roman's historic run, Daniel Bryan probably, if he really politics, he probably could have got another world title run somewhere on Raw maybe. It wasn't about the world title no more. I mean, he did get the one where he dropped it to Kofi, but I'm saying like during that last final stretch.
Yeah.
But it wasn't about that. So, I mean, to answer your question, I can see Punk getting the title again, just not from Cena.
And if you said Punk is in that HBK from the Save era time period, so are we going to end up getting his version of Nexus or the Straight Edge Society at some point, since we got the reversion of DX at some point in that time?
I'll be honest, that's what I was thinking when we were talking about Seth's group. Which, do they even have a name for him yet?
No, not yet.
They still haven't debuted a name for him yet. I was thinking somebody will have to step to the plate eventually. Another group will have to come to challenge him. We've done the whole, we're going to all get together to try to take down the Bloodline thing. We've done that already, but I was thinking, do we get another Straight Edge Society? I don't know about Nexus, but maybe another Straight Edge
Society. You could go that's the thing. You could actually think to go into a new Nexus mode and have CM Punk lead some NXT dudes against this group. He already don't like Seth, and that's hell yeah.
But see, and I was just getting ready to say that group down there that are like the Shield. What
Dark State.
Dark State. Dark State could have been perfect as a new Nexus. I'm glad that they're doing something original with Dark State, so cool. But I think that would have been your opportunity to do a new Nexus.
Dark State is like a Nexus Retribution hybrid. That's working.
I was gonna say Nexus Shield hybrid, but I see where you went with that too, for sure.
Same lane, because it's more legit than Retribution, but it reminds me of it because of how they were presented when they first started. All right, we ain't talking about You know, when they put the mask on and started doing promos. I'm talking about when they first came wrecking stuff and wasn't saying nothing.
It had potential. It had
It
potential.
did.
They just
Man. Like Vince said, okay, this is too good. Now give them these terrible names and make them talk.
T-Bar.
Please stop saying T-Bar.
All right, before we get out of here, man, Will, I don't know if you saw this in our other group chat we in on Facebook, but according to bodyslam.net and Viper reports, Goldberg is expected to return next week and will be going after World Heavyweight Champion Gunther.
Was this said to me to piss me off?
Hey, I feel your sentiment, sir. We both know that Goldberg.
Like, didn't we just go through something in the group chat with the famous 4 wrestlers, and his was not mentioned on purpose? I didn't want y'all to say it. I was like, they didn't say it on purpose. Haha, don't say it to me.
But do we think Paul Levesque will Triple H Levesque? Will he pull that trigger and bring back Goldberg for Gunther?
No.
Man, hell yeah, he would. That'd be here's my problem with the idea of this, right? We talking about Goldberg possibly coming back with a Saudi match right in front of us. He's done that. And, oh, hell no. Fuck no. Please don't do that. Do not give me Goldberg.
And you notice that's why he popped up in Saudi last time, because the Saudi prince wanted Goldberg there.
They were mouthing at each other last time they was in Saudi when he was champ. That they finna do it. They are finna make them fight in Saudi. Watch. That's what's gonna happen. That's gonna be the in between SummerSlam match for Gunther. That's why Jey Uso lost for real. No one wants to see Goldberg Jey Uso. Fuck, we are about to see Goldberg.
But the only thing with that though is, hey, what if they bring back Brock during that?
Hey, if Brock come back,
that could be like a saving grace
and he attacks Goldberg. Yes, I'm with it. I'm talking about take him out officially. Retire Goldberg in Saudi for the people. Cowboy Brock, retiring Goldberg would make my day. And then that could be his statement to say, Gunther, you suck, I'm coming for you. He ain't got to fight Gunther. Just stare him down after he destroyed Goldberg. That'll make me happy. Let's do it that way. What's Brock number? He in Saskatchewan? You know, area code different in Canada and shit. Cause
man,
I hope he personally hear me. Hey, go to Saudi. I know you went. Go get Goldberg. I got a shovel you could take with you. Like, get him. Hell, like, you finna give us Gunther and Goldberg for the title in Saudi, just to appease that crowd because they already teased it. That's that's the other reason Jey Uso ended up being a transitional champion. Even with Jey Uso's momentum, you put him against Goldberg. First of all, who the hell's gonna play that match?
Say somebody.
You think we gonna I don't want to see Jey Uso spear Goldberg. It's not gonna be believable. It's not. He can't even run with him. Like, no, hell no. That'll be a bad match. Without a tag partner, Jey Uso don't need to be nowhere in the ring with Goldberg.
Right. I agree.
And that's more for Goldberg's sake. Like, no. Hell no. He can't keep up with nobody like that. Gunther can pace a match and wrestle him. Kind of.
Right.
Wrestling's not exactly Goldberg's thing. Regal showed us that a long time ago, and they still pay him. Anyway, don't ask me that. No, I don't give a damn. I really want to pull the shovel out for him.
Well, on that note, people, y'all make sure y'all follow us on social media, all right? TikTok.
Guys, man, not here. What's wrong with you?
Hot Take Wrestling. Instagram, Hot Take Wrestling. Twitter, as Chris Jericho used to say on his podcast, at Wrestling Take. On Twitch, Hot Take Wrestling Podcast. And as always, we are on YouTube at NMG TV. All right. Fellas, before we get out of here, is there anything on your heart when it comes to this thing called professional wrestling be it about WWE, be it about AEW, be it about New Japan, be it about AAA, be it about the Golden Era. Is it anything you want to get off of your chest before we get up out of here?
KG, you can go ahead. I'm still pissed off about Goldberg.
In the words of Lil Jon, the East Side Boys, 5 letters, 1 word. Skeet.
God damn it, KG.
KG, this is a PG-13 show, okay? It's PG-13 because the wise man ain't here. If he was here, it would be rated R. Hard rated R, too. Like, borderline NC-17. But, yeah. With this trio.
Hard, and you're talking about him.
Pause. All right. But, Clutch, anything to take your mind off of Goldberg, brother. Just,
See, you want me to say something about wrestling?
Yeah.
In the golden era in wrestling in general. Hell, I'll go there because wrestling is being kind of overly criticized right now because of the stuff with these releases and the TKO aspect of it. And I even seen people saying because of the overly put out business aspect of it, wrestling is being not as enjoyable. I don't know what they're watching. Y'all just in their business too hard because you see it so damn much. Perfectly.
That part. Hey, me and KG sentiments from last week.
And all I gotta say from that point is, if you want to keep me locked in watching wrestling, and you keep putting Goldberg on TV, I'm trying to tell y'all. My nephew play football too. That's all I'm gonna say. Fuck them.
All right, last thoughts from old man Logan, y'all. Continue to push the Hurt Syndicate over there in AEW land. Push the Almighty. He needs to be AEW champion sooner than later. Okay, and yeah, man, we the ones and not the twos. So make sure y'all continue to watch us. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend to check out Hot Take Wrestling every Wednesday. We started a little early. We started earlier. You know what I mean? So we're going to try to keep that trend going so we can get some rest and we don't be, having the rest in Kenny face toward the end of the episode. So on that note, y'all, thank y'all. Love, live life, man.
Well, anybody say pause tonight, so that's why you don't got no rest in Kenny face.
I said it twice.
You
did? Oh.
See, you was oblivious to it. See, it rings louder when Wise Man yell it, but that's because he usually done hit us with medium meat and some motion, No one needs to be hit with medium meat.
Yeah, nah, he gonna get us canceled. You talking like that?
Yeah.
Damn it, man.
So, all right, y'all. We signing out. We catch y'all next Wednesday. Make sure y'all check us out, man. Make sure y'all be in tune. And yeah, man, hit the page. Send us a DM. Send us some money. Send us $1. I'm gonna get us a what's the thing called?
Patreon.
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe. Yeah, it's nice too.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Let me see. I am trying to get the outro music going.
KG left immediately when you said hi,
he was ready. He was ready.
Because he didn't want like 5 more pauses to come.
Because he knew. But all right, y'all.